A body found on the shores of Lady Bird Lake. What police know so far.
And tonight at 5, we'll be showing you which days will rain and how much rain is expected on First Warning Weather.
Also, a celebration of burning flags. Why Floridians are setting fire to warning flags and breaking out conch shells. Good evening, I'm Nabil Ramad. Now, Austin police say they're looking into a body that was found in Lady Bird Lake this morning. Police said they found a woman who looked to be about 60 years old and possibly experiencing homelessness around 8 this morning. The department said it was unaware if there was any drug or alcohol use. APD said so far nothing about the death seems suspicious. As of now, it's not being investigated as a homicide. KXAN reporter Sam Stark will have more on the story coming up tonight on KXAN at 10. A man is facing charges after a confrontation on Friday left a man dead near Nutty Brown Road on 290. 45-year-old John Paul Ramirez was hit by a car after the Hays County Sheriff's Office calls a confrontation outside his vehicle with another driver. Officials say Ramirez fell into the eastbound lane and was hit by a passing car. He was declared dead at the hospital. The driver who confronted Ramirez was arrested. DPS says they're investigating the accident. Well, it's the end of safety inspections as the Lone Star State knows them, as most Texas vehicles won't require a safety inspection next year. It's part of a new law going into effect this January where instead of getting a safety inspection, you'll need to pay a $7.50 fee, which is the normal price of an inspection. Now, if your registration expires this month, however, you still need to get the inspection. An expired one can get you a $200 fine. The Texas Department of Public Safety, or DPS, is officially under new management. As of today, that marks the first day for the state's new DPS director. Lieutenant Colonel Freeman Martin is the department's new leader, taking over for Colonel Stephen McGraw, who announced he was retiring earlier this year. According to the Texas Commission of Law Enforcement, Martin received his Texas Peace Officer license 34 years ago and has been with DPS for the entirety of his career. He'll be officially sworn in tomorrow.
First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tommy House.
Hey, hope y'all had a great holiday weekend. Here's Fredericksburg. We have a beautiful shot as the sun is beginning to set. Some low-level clouds, some yellows on the horizon, and some people out and about for the hill country today. Temperature check, we're in the upper 60s. Seasonable high temperature 67 in Cameron and Georgetown and Austin, 66 Dripping Springs, 68 Marble Falls, 68 up towards San Saba County. Much warmer today than where we were yesterday by about 5 to 10 degrees, 6 degrees warmer in LaGrange today, 5 degrees warmer in Austin, about the same for portions of the hill country. Quick check on your pollen. You may feel the cedar. Cedar and mold is high. KXAN.com/allergy has the 24/7 updates for you. Those are all trending down at this hour with mostly clear skies, a few clouds building in from time to time. We should be clearing out tonight. I'll have your Monday forecast talking about when rain chances returning. We'll look at the totals and timing for that, and also a seasonable temperature trend. Highs will be in the 60s, so my full forecast will be talking about all the good stuff coming up.
All right, thank you, Tommy. And we're cooling off here in Central Texas, but millions of Americans are under freeze warnings as an Arctic blast gripped the northern plains, Midwest, and Great Lakes on Saturday. According to the National Weather Service, at least 15 million people are under winter alerts from the Great Lakes to the Central Plains, while roughly 4 million people are under freeze warnings in the southeast. The Arctic blast has also led to travel disruptions during the post-Thanksgiving travel rush. Officials warn motorists to avoid any unnecessary travel. The 2024 Atlantic hurricane season has come to an end, and residents in the Florida Keys celebrated with a flag burning ceremony. Several hundred spectators gathered in Key West on Saturday and applauded as leaders of the Florida Keys ceremonial Conch Republic administration used rum to ignite and burn hurricane warning flags to mark the official end of the hurricane season. The annual flag burning event featured blasts blown on a conch shell and speakers who reflected on those impacted by the 2024 hurricanes. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the 2024 season featured above average activity and spawned 18 named storms. 11 of them became hurricanes, including Helene, Milton, and Raphael, which brought tropical storm force winds to parts of the Keys before making landfall elsewhere, while Hurricane Beryl brought destruction to the Houston area. More administration picks from the president-elect today as Donald Trump announces that he would choose Florida Sheriff Chad Chronister to serve as the administrator for the Drug Enforcement Agency. He would be replacing the current administrator, Ann Milgram, who got the position back in 2021. Meanwhile, Trump tapped Mossad Boulos as senior advisor to the Middle East. Boulos previously sought office in Lebanon and is the father-in-law of Trump's daughter, Tiffany. So far, neither he nor Trump have offered any concrete details on their plans for the region. Another series of vegetable recalls, this time hitting cucumbers. Sun-Fed Produce has issued a recall on all sizes of its whole fresh American cucumbers. According to a company announcement, the impacted cucumbers were packaged in bulk cardboard containers labeled with the Sun-Fed label or in a generic white box or black plastic crate. The announcement shared that the recalled cucumbers were sold between October 12th and run through November 26th. They're being recalled because they have the potential to be contaminated with salmonella. The whole fresh American cucumbers were shipped to customers located in more than 24 states, as well as the Canadian provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, Calgary, Saskatchewan, and Ontario. Well, it was a day of remembrance in Central Austin as the Hill Country Ride for AIDS honored World AIDS Day. It's a day meant to push back against stigmas about the disease. Today's event included things like the Mile of Silence, meant to honor those who have passed away from the illness. Organizers say it's important to keep their memory alive.
I think a big part of it that is really important to me and really important to this cause is remembering how we got here, the upsurge of community support that came in the 80s and 90s, and also just remembering this generation of people that we lost that we're riding for.
Hill Country Ride for AIDS plans on having their 26th annual Ride for AIDS next May. The event helps raise money for local charities helping those struggling with the illness. And get those tickets out because the Mega Millions jackpot is reaching a level rarely seen during the month of December as it climbs to more than $500 million. Wouldn't that be nice to win? Now, if won, this would be the 12th largest prize in the game's history, while there have been 13 December jackpot wins since Mega Millions began in 2002. According to Mega Millions, only one was for more than the current estimated prize. It was $648 million jackpot shared by winners in California and Georgia on December 17th, 2013. The next Mega Millions drawing is set for Tuesday, December the 3rd. Concerns from business owners are brewing over the president-elect's tariff policy as talks between Donald Trump and our neighbors to the north and south continue. Richard Sherman has what's leaving business owners worried.
Ever since the president-elect threw out the idea of added tariffs from Mexico, Canada, and China, we've seen a lot of movement here this week, with President-elect Trump hopping on the phone and speaking with the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, as well as the President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, as they have begun these initial conversations, setting the table for negotiations when it comes to what trade between these countries will look like once President-elect Trump takes office. And some retailers are warning customers that price tags might look a little bit different if the president-elect makes good on his threat to impose some tariffs here. One local furniture company in Texas advertising what they call a pre-tariff sale, saying the price tag you see now might look a little bit different if any of these tariffs ultimately come down the pipeline. And that's not all. The Wall Street Journal says that some major corporations, including Lowe's and AutoZone, saying that it's likely inevitable that they would have no choice but to pass on some of these added costs to consumers if some tariffs are added here. And in terms of what Mexico imports to the United States as well as Canada, well, they have a big footprint when it comes to agriculture, oil and gas, transportation equipment. For China, computer and electronic products, electrical equipment, appliances and components, miscellaneous manufactured commodities. You take your pick there. That could be toys, that could be medical devices or anything of that nature there. Point of emphasis here, though, is that there's a long way to go until Inauguration Day, and we've seen the president-elect use this strategy in the past of throwing out numbers in order to start the negotiating process. And it's very conceivable that final tariff numbers will look very different than what he's saying now, if any tariffs are imposed at all. Back to you.
All right, we all know someone so incredible that they deserve to be highlighted, and here at KXAN, we want to hear about that person. There's about a month left for you to nominate someone in your community for Remarkable Women. You can nominate her at KXAN.com. Look for the Remarkable Women tab on our homepage. Our local winner will travel to Los Angeles, where 125 women from around the nation will be honored, with the national winner taking $25,000 that will go to their nonprofit of choice. So send your nominations now. We're taking them until December the 20th. And take a look out over this nice sunset. In a few moments, you're going to see the Zilker tree light up. It's an Austin tradition that's been going on for years and years, and a lot of people will be out there to check that out. Tommy, it's going to be your first time seeing the Zilker tree light up. Are you going to make it out there? Maybe go to the Trail of Lights as well?
Yeah. Mozart's. We have Zilker Park. All the great places to go this holiday season. Austin has it all. I mean, I've seen so many social media posts of things to do, and that tree lighting is at the top of the list.
Some neighborhoods go all in too. That's always fun.
Out toward Westlake, we'll see.
Absolutely.
Stock up the forecast if you are heading out and about for the next hour to that lighting event, and we'll start off right now with where we were today. 70 degrees, that was the high temperature. Sunrise was at 7:10. We should be in the upper 60s, but it was a seasonable day, a mix of clouds and sunshine throughout your Sunday. Now out the door tomorrow morning to kick off the work week, 41 degrees in Austin, some 30s out and about, 37 in Georgetown, 37 in Lampasas and Burnett, 35 in San Saba, 36 in Llano, upper 30s in Gillespie County, east of I-35, some mid to upper 30s. Much cooler for places like Cameron compared to Fayette County, which will be in the upper 30s, low 40s. Tomorrow's high temperatures throughout the day, upper 60s. Our winds will come in out of the north and east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Another seasonable day to start off, maybe a 70s sprinkled in here and there. A little bit cooler than today's high temperature, 67 right now in Austin. Calm winds, humidity at 51%, with the sun setting on the horizon there. Clouds and radar, big picture. Let me step aside and show you. There's really not a lot going on. Some lake effect snow for portions of New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, but no big storm systems or severe weather today. Tomorrow, 41 at 7 a.m., 63 by noon, and by 4 p.m., 66 degrees with some clouds turning to sunshine. And the clouds will really build back in Tuesday and Wednesday. Our rain chances returning for 5 consecutive days. So we're going to be dealing with days on end of a chance for rain, which is great news because we desperately need it. Here's one of the models, a European one. It's a little bit lighter, but it's showing you clouds build in Tuesday into Wednesday, a few showers on Wednesday, a few showers on Thursday. You get the idea. Nothing consistent or heavy, but some rain here and there at times throughout Wednesday, Thursday, Friday into the weekend. GFS model, a little bit more bullish here, showing a lot more rain coverage across Central Texas up toward DFW, and this will continue as well into the weekend. So we have 2 models that we look at here for rainfall totals. Here's the first one, the Euro model, a little bit less, 0.2 of an inch in Austin, maybe east of I-35, up to a 1/2 inch, hill country a lot less. GFS model, a little more coverage here, shown up to an inch at most. So, kind of somewhere in between there when we're looking at these rainfall totals. I'm going with 1/4 of an inch to an inch for most of us. Hill country a little less, 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch toward Mason and San Saba, and east of Fayette County, 1 to 2 inches closer to the Houston metro area. So 41 tonight, will be dry tonight. Winds will be calm with mostly clear skies, and tomorrow clouds to sun, upper 60s. Our winds will be light out of the northeast. Here's your first warning weather, 7-day forecast, upper 60s, low 70s, a beautiful seasonable temperature trend. Our overnight lows in the low 40s to the 50s at times. We may get some rain Wednesday into Thursday night there, but 30% rain coverage. So, not going to be a washout consistently, but we could get some rain, and we need it with most of Travis County in an extreme drought.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Texas picked up its rivalry from A&M right where it left off with a win in College Station. And now that that's out of the way, Texas is a win away from its 2nd straight conference championship and its first one in the SEC. Quinn Ewers suffered an ankle injury against Kentucky last week, was on the injury report Wednesday. However, he was off the pregame injury report and got the start. But it was Arch Manning who scored the first touchdown, running this one in with aggression. That's 4 rushing touchdowns for Manning this year, and that one set the tone. Now, Ewers returned to QB status and delivered the Horns' 2nd touchdown of the night. A great job by Jaden Blue of getting his foot down and making that catch. They would review it and rule that it was indeed a touchdown. 14-0 start for Texas. After that, the defense took it from there, shutting down A&M at several key points. The last was stopping the Aggies on 4th and goal when they were deep in the red zone. Ethan Burke was the first one there. Texas got to celebrate on the Aggies field, earning bragging rights for 14 years in a row now, and a trip to Atlanta for the SEC championship game.
That's kind of how we played all year. We just get in control of games, and this game was really no different than that. So them handling the environment was something that was critical to us, and having poise and composure in this arena and owning the arena, and I thought we did that. And so all in all, it's a great way to end kind of the regular season. This is where we wanted to be.
We know we're all fired up. Couldn't be more proud of how our team handled adversity and how we stayed poised and composed throughout the entirety of the game. And again, it's always a good feeling winning.
The UT women's basketball team is taking care of business in the Gulf Coast Classic. They'll have their biggest test tonight at 6:30. However, here's Roger Wallace with more.
Longhorns have certainly had their chance to have a little fun in the sun, but it gets real tonight after 2 easy wins in this Gulf Coast Showcase. 5th-ranked Texas against 12th-ranked West Virginia. How even are these teams as of now? Longhorns' average margin of victory in 6 games, 42 points. West Virginia's average margin of victory in 8 games, 42 points.
We'll show up and knowing that we're the hunted, but we'll show up wanting to hunt. And I love that attitude with this team, with these kids. They are humble, they're hungry, and they are hunting. And you know, we don't fear anybody. We'll respect everybody. But at the end of the day, you know, we'll show up tomorrow night at 7:32. So excited about the opportunity with these kids.
One thing Vic Schaefer's done all season long is spread out the minutes. No Longhorn is averaging more than 23 minutes per game. And on Friday night, Madison Booker and Taylor Jones combined for 41 points. On Saturday, they had just 7, while freshman Justice Carlton lit it up with 30. Outside of Fort Myers, Florida, Roger Wallace, KXAN News.
All right, NFL, sunny and clear day in Jacksonville. Texans and Jaguars, third quarter game tied at 6. Joe Mixon runs in from 7 yards out to put the Texans up 13-6. Fourth quarter now, same score. C.J. Stroud finding Dalton Schultz, and Schultz takes it in. No one around him. 23-6 Texans. DeMarco Ryans fired up, but here come the Jaguars out. Mac Jones and then quarterback Trevor Lawrence was knocked out of the game with a concussion. So Jones steps in, finds Brian Thomas Jr. for the touchdown. They convert the 2-point conversion to make it a 1-score game, but with third down, Houston's Joe Mixon ices it with that first down run. He had 101 yards on 20 carries. Houston wins 23-20 to improve to 8-5 in the AFC South. So Texans enjoying a 2-game lead on the Indianapolis Colts in that division.
Another big win, Texas getting it done too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they got Georgia next week for the SEC championship game rematch. So
still celebrating.
Well, I mean, you know, I guess you're good. You're within your 24 hours to celebrate.
Thank you. Beautiful day out there, but I've been sneezing a lot. What's going on, Tommy? You were talking about it.
Well, you know, if cedar's one of those allergens that upsets you, we have high levels of that, and we're probably going to keep that trend across the next 7 days. And mold is high as well. With the rain chances continuing to stay increased, you know, rain chances, when they're higher, we get a little bit more mold in our air, so we're going to be dealing with that. Temperatures in the upper 60s, though, a lot more cool than where we were the past few weeks, so a nice little trend into December. Some rain, we need it. I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully out of the 5, 6, 7 days of rain ahead of us, we get a little bit of showers every single day, but it's not going to be consistent washout.
60 degrees. I hope it gets to be about like 40, 30, maybe a white Christmas this year. Fingers crossed. Not too much snow, just a little bit.
Ways from now.